If I was to truly try and pass a funding program, I would want to do it the exact way that I am trading already. I'd want to basically just stay routine. But I understand that for many, they realize that that is very, very hard to do on, low risk. You'd have to catch some really great runners in order to pass a test.
First question of the hour. Best approach to passing a prop challenge. There's a million different ways, of course, that you could trade. But let's discuss that. Let's take apart that particular piece of it. I'll throw it to you first, Austin, and then we'll go with Nick. What do you think is the best approach to passing a prop challenge?
So I think the easy answer, at least for me and the guys that I'm working with, for the challenges that I've passed and how I've helped people do the same thing, it's always been taking advantage of this extension. Now, a lot of these companies are giving you an extension in days. For example, I was up 4.5% on a target of 8%. So I was just a little over halfway there. But because they gave me the extension after 30 days, I got another 28 trading days and I knocked it out of the park in no time. So I think if you use that extension to give you a simple answer, I think that is one of the major keys to getting funded, because then that time window, which is what everybody's afraid of, it opens up to you and it's wider. So now the approach being, hey, instead of me making 8% or 10% in 30 days, I actually have 60. Let's just do half of that in 30 days. And that can really, I think, motivate you, because then you can see I don't even need to over risk myself like a lot of people do in order to pass the challenge.
Indeed. What about you, Nick? What do you think is the best approach?
So I to sort of reiterate what Austin said a little bit there, with different prop firms, of course, there's different pros and cons. I've explored a lot of them. Although I'm not a prop trader myself, I trade my own funds. I've worked with a lot of them through partnerships and things like that. And then also I just have been in the game for a while. I know a lot of the people who run and own prop firms. There's different things allocated. And Austin made a great point. If some prop firm that you're working with offers you the idea of, well, you can get extensions if you get halfway there or something like that, that definitely has to play into a part of your particular strategy, depending on the prop firm you're at. I will say I'm going to sort of dress myself up a little bit as the counterparty to prop firm trading today, just because I think we need it to spice it up in here. I know Austin's had success with his prop firm, so I want to give him the chance to he has more experience in that. Right. I will say this. I think that usually the common answer that I get from watching other people who discuss, how they passed it or their method to passing it, it usually involves taking more risk, being more aggressive, and doing something a little bit different than what they're used to. And for me, as a counterpoint to the idea of passing it, I think you have to change your strategy, which for me, I'm not really down to change my strategy. I don't want to change how much I'm risking and change my approach to try and pass a test. So maybe my biggest counterpoint to the common approach of, well, you have to risk more to get over the threshold, that wouldn't be my big thing. If I was to truly try and pass a funding program, I would want to do it the exact way that I am trading already. I'd want to basically just stay routine. But I understand that for many, they realize that that is very, very hard to do on, low risk. You'd have to catch some really great runners in order to pass a test, which for me, just being truthful, I catch big runners every once in a while, but not often and predictably enough to pass a funding program every single month. And that's just me being honest. I'm not going to come out here and say, oh yeah, I make 15% a month and it'd be easy for me to pass that. I don't know what the market's going to yield for me next month. It might be negative. It might be positive. It might be slight positive. Might be big positive. But trying to confine it in a 30-day window is difficult. And probably I would just want to trade it the way I trade it without taking a bunch of extra risk or being irresponsible. But to Austin's credit, and I actually really like what he said, is you have to look at the specific prop firm you're working with, because if they give you bonus tries and things like that, it changes up the game entirely.